Mr. Chairman, I want to first highlight the U.S.-Mexico resolution. This bipartisan resolution was introduced by myself and Ranking Member Elliot Engel. It reaffirms a strong commitment to the U.S.-Mexico partnership. As a Texan, chairman of the U.S.-Mexico Interparliamentary Group and chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, I cannot overstate the importance of a strong partnership between the United States and Mexico. And let me be clear, this is a partnership. There are times in which our respective countries may disagree on matters of foreign policy, but it is of critical importance to the economic and security interest of both countries to work through our differences in a respectful, productive manner. The legislative branches of our respective governments have a special role to play in this regard. As chairman of the U.S.-Mexico IPG, I've seen firsthand the power of legislative diplomacy. In June of this year, I led a delegation of members to Mexico during one of the most trying times in our long relationship. Needless to say, a little respect and civil discourse can go a long way between our two delegations, and we made a lot of progress on a number of issues. So as we continue to engage Mexico in the many pressing issues of the day, I hope this resolution will serve as a reminder as to why this relationship is so important. Next, I'd like to voice my support for a bill you sponsored, Mr. Chairman, and I was honored to co-sponsor, and that's the Cyber Diplomacy Act. As we all know, cyberspace is increasingly becoming a venue for malicious actors to harm the United States and our allies. At a time when cyber landscape is becoming complex and dangerous, we should be sharpening the tools in our toolkit. As such, the Cyber Diplomacy Act allows our State Department to better perform 21st century diplomacy by establishing an ambassador for cyberspace to help promote our cyber interests internationally. It enhances transparency at the State Department's current and future cyber arrangements with our partners and ensures our cyber policy evolves with the landscape by requiring each new administration to produce a strategy relating to international cyberspace. Simply put, we need better coordination at the State Department to keep the internet free, open, and safe from malicious activities of adversaries who threaten our interests. To that end, Mr. Chairman, I hope to make this bill even stronger through an amendment that would specify that the ambassador for cyberspace, among other things, would be responsible for helping coordinate our interagency efforts to counter cyber terrorism. This very simple amendment would go a long way to ensure the State Department plays a significant and effective role in preventing terrorists from exploiting our cyberspace. And finally, I'd like to highlight the bill, the Taylor-Force Act, of critical importance. This legislation is a critical step in ensuring the kind of atrocity that took place on March 8th of last year, which left former U.S. Army officer and Vanderbilt student Taylor-Force dead, to make sure that that is not repeated. Specifically, legislation would withhold U.S. economic assistance to the Palestinian Authority until it has taken credible steps to end the promotion of violence against Americans and Israeli citizens, fully stop the payments for acts of terrorism which takes place, and publicly condemns acts of violence, and cooperate in investigations of such acts. I had the honor to share the stage with Mr. Force last month with you, Mr. Chairman, and I hope no family ever has to endure a tragedy like he and his family have. In fact, this committee should do all it can to ensure that that is the case. And with that, I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. McCall. We go to Dan Donovan of New York.